Hey everybody, it's old Watachi, or I'm also known as Pop Pop. I gotta show you this shirt, guys. It says Pop Pop knows everything. What's it say? If he doesn't know it, he makes stuff up really fast. That's my kids for you. They have a sense of humor too. And they even, my daughter-in-law says uh, stuff like, "Who needs a mechanic when you got a Brian or a Pop Pop?" Uh, oh hell, people. This video, this video is going to be about why I trusted the medical field for as long as I did. I don't know. I no longer do, but I did for a long time, and there's a reason for it. Um, I've watched them with my dad now. He was, I think, 64 when he had his first heart attack. Now, this heart attack, me and him, he had a house paint business, and I worked for him for 10 years out in Arizona. Before I started my own, went on my own. I helped him build his. And we were going to work one morning, and he was getting ready to go. And I'd come over to his house, and then I'd ride with him in the work trucks, or we'd take the work trucks to the job. And he was getting ready to go, and all of a sudden, I come back towards his bedroom, and he's kneeled down at the end of the bed, laying his head on the bed. And I'm going, "Are you all right, Dad? What's going on?" And so I pick him up and lay him on the bed. We call him an ambulance. Well, he ended up having to have a double bypass at that time, and open heart double bypass, folks. And that was one of the first things I really seen had anything to do with the doctors. Somebody being cut open or something like that. But I also, it was think about 4 or 5 years later, he's complaining about having a lot of heartburn. He's still working. He don't feel bad about that. He just complaining about a lot of heartburn. So he goes to the damn doctors, and they rush him straight over to the hospital. Has to go have to have a emergency quadruple bypass. There they go, cutting him open again. Now, I can't remember if if in between those two heart surgeries or if it was after them. But they also found cancer in one of his lungs, and so they went in and took out a half of one lung. Now, I'm telling you what, people, when they do open heart surgery, it's one thing. But when they have to take out a part of a lung, they cut my dad this way, they cut him this way, had to break ribs and take them out of the way, then go in and take half the lung. It was worse than anything I've seen on the quadruple bypasses, and they cut you from here all the way down, then all the way down your leg, pulling arteries out of your damn leg and shit. I know many people that's had them. But when they took his lung, went in and took his lung, I was having to run both mine and his business at the time, trying to keep them both going, keeping. Uh, if he had work going, I had to deal with it. I had my guys dealing with my work, and so I finally, after the surgery, finally get a chance to run up to the hospital and see my dad. Well, I get up there, and my sisters, my brothers, my mom, my nephew, my nieces, they were all up there, And I'm talking to my dad, and they're telling me to keep blowing into this thing here to raise that ball up to strengthen my lungs. And he's telling me I can't get enough air in my lungs to blow on that thing. I'm going, Dad, well, so I went out and talked to the doctors, and that doctor's telling me he's got to strengthen that lung back up. He needs to be doing that. So I go back in, and I'm talking to my dad about it, and I'm looking at him breathing, and he's in and out that quick. He could not get no more oxygen in his lungs. And he's telling me he's feeling like he's going to pass out and die because he can't get no air. So I look at him, I said, I'll be right back. I walked out of his room. I walked into that, found that doctor. I looked him dead in the eye. I said, I don't know what's going on, but my dad's telling me he cannot breathe. I'm looking this doctor right in the eye. I said, if somebody don't go in there and help him right now, and he lays in there and dies, I said, it's going to take every damn security officer in this building to pull me off of you. If you stand there and let him die. Now, this doctor immediately went into that room and checked my dad. He turned around, told everybody to get out. Called for the nurse, bring something in. They started moving shit in there. They shut the door on us. Next thing I know, I hear my dad scream like I've never heard a man scream. A few minutes later, here they come out. He goes, Mr. Grooms, can I talk to you? And I said, yes. He goes, we were wrong. Your dad's lungs cavity, your dad's chest cavity filled up with blood from the operation. His lungs could not expand out because his chest cavity was full of blood. I'm sorry about that. He said we had to take a knife, cut a hole through his side of his chest, and stick a hose in there to drain the blood out of his chest. He said, if you want to go in and see him, you can see him now. I walked in there, my dad was breathing just fine. Long, deep breaths and stuff, he was breathing just fine. But he had a big tube coming out of his chest. He said, I can breathe now, I can breathe. Now, that was one of the first times I ever started to think maybe these doctors aren't what they say they are. But my dad also went through a lot of skin cancers, or spots. And I'm sure it was from the stuff he sprayed over them boys and all the people that were fighting in the Korean War and other wars. Because a lot of these guys that came back from those wars were ate up with skin cancer. Now, my dad started having plugs, and they were plugs, folks, that they cut out of him. Because if there was a little spot on his arm here, they'd take a big chunk of meat. And they were taking spots here and there, and he'd have a little spot on his face or something. One day they said, man, you got some of that right on your nose here. He said, all right, what are we going to do? I said, we got to cut it out. By the time they was done with this man, he didn't have no fucking nose. Now, these people took a piece of meat off of his ear, a strip around the side of his ear. They took some meat off of his ass. And they twisted this piece of ear meat and ass meat, and they put it all up here and stitched it all on his face. And that's exactly what it looked like when he took the bandage off and showed it to me. Like they took a piece of ear and rolled it up and then stuck a hunk of meat on there and stitched it all together. But let me tell you something, folks. By the time they got done with that damn nose, didn't look a whole lot worse than mine. And I watched that happen. Now, it took time, skin grafts. It took a little bit of time to straighten it all out. But when it was done, I can show you pictures of him. He looks like he might have had a nose job or a little bit of work done on one side. It's not perfect, but it looks like a nose. It looks like mine. That's where I got my nose from him. But, so I seen this stuff, that they were doing to my dad. Now, this was back when I was healthy, other than my lungs and my heart. But I had a thing happen to me. I had my knee swell up about the size of a baseball. And I know it had something to do. I fell out of a tree when I was a kid and just snapped that leg the wrong way. And I had to learn and rebuild it when they put it back together. I wore a cast for a long time in a wheelchair and shit, couldn't walk. And I had to rebuild my knee, the strength in that knee, the muscle and everything, get it back up to where I can walk. And that's the same knee that swelled up on me. So I went to my doctor about it. They started putting me on pain pills, buddy. That's when I started getting Percocets. That's what they loved to give me back then, Percocets. Then I had something happen that I don't tell anybody about. I've never told this before, but I'm going to tell it now because it's involved with the medical field. It's kind of embarrassing to me, but I had one of my testicles swell up to about the size of an orange. And I couldn't hardly walk. So I went to the doctor about it. And I had a business to run. I went to the doctors about it, and they said, "Man, it looks like you," and that, man, people, believe me, they took the same thing they looked into a pregnant woman's body with to see the baby inside. They did the same things to my testicles. I ain't kidding you. I'm laying on this table. Now, I'm going to tell a little bit of funny about this, but it wasn't funny at all in the end. But I'm laying on this table. They told me strip down naked and just put this towel over my waist, covering up my stuff. Here comes in this gorgeous nurse. I'm young. I'm probably in my late 30s, maybe early 30s. She's probably 28 to 30, about my age, gorgeous. Now this woman comes in, rolls that towel back to just my testicles. She takes her hand, picks them up, and starts greasing them with that grease. Then she takes that cold ass, whatever that tool is, and she starts running it around them. We're looking at it on the damn computer. And she goes, I go, She goes, "I'll be right back." She goes and gets this doctor. He comes in. And there she goes back to my testicles. And she's showing the doctor what she found. Doctor's going, "Hold on just a minute." He leaves the room. He comes back in with 5 or 6 more people. All the time, this woman's got my testicles in her hands with this cold metal, whatever this thing is, on them, rubbing them. Now, I ain't going to tell you what happened. You can guess. And there's a room full of people. Most embarrassing thing I ever been through in my life. But that wasn't even the worst part of it. This doctor tells me, well, we think you got testicle cancer. We need to go in and do a biopsy. If the biopsy comes back positive for cancer, we're going to take both your nuts. Or testicles, sorry folks. I don't want to say that word. We're going to take them. If they don't, then we'll leave them. Said, okay. I'm thinking that the stuff they're going to be biopsying is on the other side of that thin sack that they sit in. What? I think I could get through it with a butter knife if I tried. People, when they put me under, these guys cut me like they do a woman when a woman's having a baby C-section. They cut me all the way across from where my fingers are, from here to here, right at my waist, right across here. Now, I'm laying in a room that I can only imagine there's a bunch of people up above me watching what's going on, if you know what I mean. Because I feel like this guy was teaching all them other people that he brought into the room to show them my stuff. Well, people, they made that cut across my waist. They reached down inside that cut and pulled my testicles up and laid them on my belly. This is what they told me. Now, they took a little nick off that sucker. They took it down to the laboratory. This whole time that this thing's being tested and the biopsy being done, my testicles are laying on my stomach, is what they told me. They come back, it's a negative results, stuff everything back in and stitch my ass back up. Do you think that's the smartest way to have done that? Cut me like that? People, I couldn't even hardly wear pants. Anything over that cut. And they didn't make them damn stretchy pants for men that they make for women after having babies. Now let me tell you what, my brother was working for me at the time. And I had another older guy working for me. And they were bugging me. I told them, man, I don't know how long I'm going to be down, but I'm going to have to shut down. And after this surgery, they come to my house and they're like, man, come on, we know you got work. Let us go do it, and you can just stay here. And my brother's telling me this, and the old guy that was working for me, I got him on with my dad. He worked for my dad for a long time, and then he after my dad's work started fading so far away, he started working for me again. Well, I said, all right. I had this old man. It was a 2-story house, and I painted his house before, and he wanted to get it done. I said, I tell you what, it's an easy job. It's a 2-story. It's all stucco. Go in there, power wash it, come back, tape it off, and spray everything. Oh, yeah, man, we can do that. I said, there's one thing. Whatever you do, he just put a brand new air conditioning unit outside his house. You cover that thing with everything you got. Don't let that thing get destroyed or touched. Well, this old man, I let him go over there and start power washing, getting the shit ready. This old man calls me and he's crying. What, man? What? He goes, man, they took that power washer and they sprayed it across that brand new air conditioner, and all the fins and everything on it are all laid, smashed over. I said, you got to be kidding me. I said, no. I told my wife, get my pants, man. I just got out of this surgery. I said, get my pants. She's going, you can't go over. I said, get my damn pants. She got my pants and I put them on. I couldn't snap them or nothing. I got my band and I went over there. My brother was about half the age of this old man. Old man's up on a ladder in the back power washing, 2 stories high. My brother's around front. We haven't even prepped the house yet. He's brushing paint on the door frame of the garage. And he knows that ain't the step we would be at that point. I walk up and fire him immediately. He goes, all right, man. He goes over to get my van. He was driving my van. He goes, I'll go home. That's fine. That's right. That's right. You're going home. And you're not leaving in my van. My van's staying right here. You're walking, son. You're fired. So he walked. Went around the old man. He's up on their power wash, and I come down. I got him down. I said, man, I told you guys about that air conditioner. He goes, yeah. I go, what happened? He goes, man, I wasn't thinking about it, and I got up there, and I was power washing off that end of the house, and he goes, man, I just hit it. I was standing about 5-6 feet away. I just hit it real lightly, spun it across, and knocked all that shit off of it. I said, you fucked it up. He goes, yeah. I go, you know what this means? He goes, yeah. Oh, no, you don't. This means I'm going to paint this man's house for free because I'm going to have to pay for that damn air conditioner. And you're going to be here helping me. And I made that old man stay there and help me because he did the damage. And we painted that house, and I had to pay for that air conditioner, and I got like maybe $200 out of it after I paid the old man. But that's the second time I started eyeballing these guys. Then I went through the 3 heart surgeries, folks. They lied to me each time. First one, oh yeah, but shoot, we do this so often, we can go in there. We usually do this by the time you're 12 years old. And you never deal with it again. That's the first doctor. All right. He goes in. Come back out, can't fix it. You need the best in the state. Or, yeah, the best in the state. They call up this other doctor. He comes into Arizona. He works on me. He comes out, nope, can't do nothing for you, man. You don't need the best in the state. You need the best in the country. He's in Indianapolis. He was the third one. And in these surgeries, folks, I was wide awake. I had to be so they could move these tools from my groin all the way up into my heart. And from this spot right here, they went down into my heart through that artery with a camera. I've seen the inside of my heart beating on camera, on video, or on a monitor. But they could put me under just a little bit, but they had to be able to move my body, and I had to help them move my body around to work that tool all the way up through my arteries and into my heart. 3 times. And these surgeries lasted anywhere from, I think the shortest one was like 12 hours. The longest one was 16. None of them could help me. Now, I told you they put me on a pill, had me on it for 20 years. And I believed it was helping me. I really did. But when them guys knowing my problems, and they cut me off of that medication because I couldn't wear a mask. And then they've done everything they've done in the last year and a half. I don't trust any of them anymore. None of them. Well, I do have one doctor I trust, and that's because I know her personally. And she is my lung doctor. And if she ever told me she wouldn't see me anymore without wearing a mask, I would never see her again. But she has never told me that. People, these doctors aren't what they say they are. You guys believe because somebody goes and gets a degree from a college somewhere, spends 12 years doing this and that and interning here and doing I don't care what all these clowns go through. These people do that stuff for one reason. Same reason the lawyers go to lawyer school, to become judges and politicians. These doctors go to medical school and spend all that time doing that so that they can be rich. They don't do it so they can drive a Ford or a Chevy or what, Pontiac Vibe or some shit. They're driving Mercedes. They're driving Lexuses. They're driving Range Rovers. They're driving Cadillacs. They're living in their big houses, whether it's a $500,000 house or a couple $1 million house. I've driven them to these houses, folks. They're the tightest ass people on the earth. Won't even tip you. They think you owe them. Well, they've shown their true colors, folks. And I don't care what Frank David Alvin says about their stuff. You know how many people die going to the hospital every year? All of them die. Eventually, y'all will die in a hospital, probably, or in a car wreck, or at home if you die of old age or something. If you're lucky. People, you can keep following these clowns. They couldn't even cure the common cold. Why? Because the cold is not something you get from outside your body. The cold is what your body does to extract bad cells from your body or whatever's gotten into your body through your eating and drinking and smoking and whatever, vaping. A cold is your body getting rid of those bad cells. It'll make you cough if you got something in your lungs. It'll make you cough and cough that shit up. If you got something in your stomach, your body will make you puke. It's just like a splinter. You get a splinter, what does your body do? You can't dig it out. It surrounds it with pus and moves it towards the surface of your skin, so it will come out. That's your body doing its job. That's what a cold is, folks. A cold is your body's immune system kicking in and working. The flu is the same thing, and pneumonia is the same thing too. These are not viruses you catch from breathing, because viruses don't exist. The only way you will get a virus is if you stick a needle in your arm with it in it. It's up to you. What do you believe? Do you believe these doctors really care? Because any of them that's claiming deaths by COVID right now, they're not billing and coding them that way. Why is that? All right, people, I'm done. You guys have a good day out there. May God bless y'all. Make no mistake, He loves all of us. And I love you too. That's why I do what I do. But the only way out of this is through Jesus Christ, folks. And I'm going to keep telling you that until I'm gone, till this body drops. And I hope you listen. You guys have a good day out there. Love the babies. Protect the babies. Don't let them do what they want to do to the babies, please. Dear God, please don't. Love you guys. Until next one.